at thezone1059.com.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba. I am here. Just barely. Let me just tell you, hanging on by a thread, just like that happy birthday sign that's hanging on throughout the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio that the homecoming queen came in here and hung up earlier today that says happy birthday on it. It, too, is hanging up by a thread, literally. I got the crud, y'all. I got the crud. And what do they call that? Isn't that what we call it? And I have been worse off before. Okay, but it has not been a fun 24 hours. That's all I'm going to say. And due to the, advancements in modern medicine, a warm house and studio, and hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, and a wife called the homecoming queen, called Annabeth, who loves me, takes care of me. I am here with you, and I'm in a halfway decent mood. Do I feel 100%? Not even close. Not even close. But the truth about it is there's a whole lot of people out there who feel worse than me today. And y'all are up and going, making it happen, chopping wood, getting the job done. So I'm not going to sit here and complain. But I will preface this saying, you can't. All right. The first thing I got today for my birthday, the very first thing I got today for my birthday was a steroid shot in the butt at 7:30 a.m. Right over here on this hip. I was in the urgent place. And at that time, when I opened my mouth to speak, like only little squeaks and stuff were coming out. And the rest of the time I was coughing my head off. And it has really helped me today. So I also have cough drops. I have a red balloon, helium-filled red balloon that my wife and daughter gave me for my birthday. There's a story behind that. It is to replace the red balloon that I lost in kindergarten. True story. All that and more on today's show. I'm just glad to be here with you, man. I'm just telling you. So if you're watching the live stream, hey to you on YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter. Type a comment in. I'd love to get to hear from you today. Anything we get into is cool with me. But I will tell you, like, if more often than usual, you look up and you see, like, well, Matt's not on the video anymore. It's just a logo. That probably means I'm turning the mic off. It'll sound like this. See that? In other words, it doesn't sound like anything. And I'll be over here either coughing or blowing my nose and trying to get through it today. But the Lord is blessing me and has blessed me. And, I will say, too, that it is really interesting you get a little older, you have these birthdays, and you have a different perspective on it. I was thinking about it this morning. First thing. Okay, so it's your birthday, right? And everybody is going to congratulate me today on my birthday. Happy birthday, Matt. Hope it's a great one. It's all about me, right? But on my actual birthday, which this is the anniversary of, all those years ago, all the way back in 1976, on that day in 1976, I had nothing to do with any of it. Nothing. All the credit, all of the, whatever positive is to be involved with me being born, it goes to other people and to God himself, the author of life, the creator of life himself. Apart from him, there is no life. Like he breathed life into us, created man in his own image to bring glory to him. All right. You have that. He gets all the credit. And I mean, beyond that, mom and dad. You think about my mom. I mean, like, just a little over, December the 9th, one day earlier back in 76. I mean, I'm in her womb. She gets all that credit. here I am. Yeah, it was my birthday. I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know anything. You know so little you can't even remember. You are completely and utterly helpless and naked and with nothing and know nothing. It's got nothing to do with you on your birthday. It really is everyone else. I can't help but say, like, if I'm freeing myself up to think about other things other than just the social norms, a birthday really ought to be for, like, the mom. Really? And the doctors. And, like, the dad. And, because the baby ain't got a thing to do with it at all. But I quickly digress because we're headed to the phone line. The Junction phone line, Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. And it's appropriate that on the Prince Oil phone line, we have a queen, the homecoming queen, called Annabeth on the phone. Annabeth, HQ, welcome to the show.
Hello. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you so much. Hey, are you able to look at the live stream and see what the red balloon, how good it looks in here?
I saw it. It's hanging in there. We're not going to let it fly off. I'm in downtown Tupelo, headed to a meeting. Just went around a tour bus that's letting off a lot of tourists going into the Tupelo Hardware for Elvis stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about you and heard your description of your birthday. That was interesting.
That's true, though.
I just wanted you to know that I love you, Mary Lydia, and I absolutely love you, and I wanted to be the first to wish you a happy birthday on the phone line today. And we have lots of things for later to celebrate with gifts and cake, and you deserve the whole world, and we love you very much.
I love you, too. Thank you so much. Don't deserve you.
And I hope y'all have a great show. And I wish Beaver was in Tupelo so that he could help you eat all the treats we've gotten you.
Yes. I'm going to...
It's a lot, and there's more to come,
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to rattle off the list of treats. I sent Beaver a video earlier. And I am also, Annabeth, going to turn these tables on him. He's always preaching at me about packing us up and moving to Jackson. And I'm fixing... He can just
need to move him to Tupelo.
He can just as easily move up here, and we're going to start working on that. That's right.
I agree. Well, happy birthday, and remember we love you, and calories don't count on your birthday.
I hope not. I hope they don't. Thank you, Annie. I love you.
Have a good show.
All
right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, who's the luckiest? Huh? What has two thumbs and is the luckiest guy? That would be me. You know it's true. You know it's true. And to whomever out there that you're thinking to yourself right now, wait a minute, I thought this was a sports station. Is this a birthday station or the sports station? You know what? You can zip it. For a little while, for the whole show, whatever, you can zip it. Let me check with Beav, who's going to move to Tupelo. Let's see if we can talk him into it. Hang on. Beav!
Hey, Matt Wyatt.
Now, thankfully, this is sarcastic, I can tell, but Restoration and Roofing of Mississippi, LLC, texted the show and said, is this a sports show or a tribute to the host show? It's my birthday, Beav. I'm pretty happy about that.
It is. They say it's your birthday. It's my birthday, too. Yeah. Happy birthday, Matt Wyatt.
Hey, he did it. For those that don't know, I challenged, well, why would anybody know unless they're eavesdropping? I challenged Beaver before the show to do that live on the air, and he did it. Beav, you're always harping at me about moving to Pearl. Why don't you just move to North Mississippi, and we'll do the show in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio where I am, and you can live up here.
Well, I would have to live in your house then, because I would need free rent. Because, see, it's different now because my salary is here.
That's kind of a big thing, isn't it?
It's kind of a thing
big
that
thing.
I need.
Oh, Beav, you heard Annabeth say that calories don't count on your birthday?
Yeah.
And I should hope not, because look, okay, it's kind of been wild here over the last 24 hours. And you know, if I'm not careful, I'll go on about this before I, come to grips and realize that nobody cares. But yeah, I mean, I've been sick as a dog. Last night, overnight, I was to the point that I really thought, okay, the real deal flu or something like that is setting in. And the last time I had the flu it's the sickest I've ever been. Way sicker than when I had COVID twice or any of that stuff. But, and then kind of got through the night, didn't really sleep, couldn't sleep. It's just constant coughing. And you should have heard me trying to talk this morning. But hey, this little, urgent care thing, I go in 7:30 in the morning, boom, shot in the right hip, got some medicine, it's already kicking in and all that kind of stuff. Well, Annabeth, she celebrates big. Okay. If you're on her list for her to celebrate you for anything, it's going to be like one of these go big or go home deal. Like I tell you, it's all day long. Well, she got up. She never does this kind of thing, Beaver. She got up when it's still dark outside and went to the donut shop here locally, like it's close to the house, because she and Mary Liddy wanted me to have my favorite thing for breakfast, which is, I say it's favorite thing, my favorite treat. Like a treat is not an everyday thing. An everyday thing, favorite breakfast is, scrambled eggs or 2 fried eggs, country pleasing sausage, toast with some of that either, sorghum molasses or the cane syrup, something like that. That's the favorite. But my favorite treat are these, I think I've told you about them, Beaver, these apple fritters at the donut place. Have we talked about that?
I think you've talked about some fritters before, yeah.
Okay. They have the best. She came in here this morning with not one. One is enough for anybody. Not 2, but 3 big, humongous, the size of your fist, size of my fist, apple fritters. Okay, so that's kind of how it all started. Well, I ate a couple of those. Okay. There 2 of those things are like a day's worth of calories for just about anybody. But I had those. And then I had this cheesy potato soup that she brought me for lunch. Had that, and in between all these other snacks. Now, did you get my video I sent you this morning?
I did. You say some snacks? No. Highly inaccurate to say some snacks.
Okay, so first, it's a box of M&Ms, okay? But if you were to go, let's say, to a convenience store, Beaver, and there's a display box full of different flavors of M&Ms, she bought basically the whole box. So there's a bunch of regular M&Ms, a bunch of peanut M&Ms, and a bunch of the peanut butter M&Ms. Okay, so there's that. And then a box of the best Little Debbie snack cake that's ever been devised and created and marketed and sold, the Star Crunch, a box of Little Debbie Star Crunch. Then, I don't know if you saw it, Beaver, a whole package of the Reese's peanut butter cups, but they're the big ones, the giant ones. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, I did.
So I got those. Let's see, there was something else. Oh, the little Dove chocolate deals. Do you ever had those little square Dove chocolate, dark chocolate candies, B?
I don't think so.
Oh, you like dark chocolate?
I do.
You're going to love these. Too much so. So I'm talking about I'm hooked up. Man. Yeah, so when she said, it's a good thing that my wife believes you throw the calories out on the birthday because, buddy, I've already had my share for today. Blitz texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line and said, happy birthday. He sent me a video, too. I appreciate that very much. Hey, and I want to, it's a video of the Auburn game, 99. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun over there on the plains that day, Blitz. Also today, born on this day 100 years ago. Born on this day 100 years ago. He would have been 100 years old today. The great legendary, incomparable Jack Crystal. Yep, Jack Crystal. Today would have been his 100th birthday. Also, this is pretty neat. On this day, December the 10th, 1817. On this day, December the 10th, 1817, Mississippi became the 20th state to join the Union. Now don't be bringing up the whole, there was a period of time there where they weren't in the Union. That's for a different day. But yeah, on this day, December 10th, 1817, Mississippi became the 20th state, joined the Union. Gino, thank you. He texted a happy birthday. I've gotten a lot of phone calls, too, today from lots of friends and family. Text messages, that kind of thing. I even got a phone call today from Ron Polk. I'm just telling y'all, it's incredible how, I'm one of several thousand people, I think, that Ron Polk knows their birthday, keeps up with their birthday, calls them on their birthday. It never fails. I'm always surprised by it. I am, even though I know it's coming. It's that kind of clockwork. But Coach Polk was up in Illinois, and before he hung up, he told us to pray for him because he'll be there through the weekend. And this Saturday, I think he said the feels like or the wind chill where he's going to be this weekend is going to be negative 12 degrees. And so he said, pray for him and wish him safe travels coming back home. We will do that. J-Rock nailed it. He said, annual post happy birthday to the state of Mississippi, Jack Crystal, Matt Wyatt, and Mrs. J-Rock. Tell you what, happy birthday to her. Put her on the list. Grumpy texted and said, happy birthday, but all Grumpy wants to know, was the nurse that gave you the shot pretty? She was, Grumpy. Now, let me just tell you what. She's really young. Like I'm old enough to be her dad or maybe even granddad. I don't know. Certainly old enough to be her dad. But she is as sweet as she could be, and I've had to see her before there at that urgent place. She's fantastic. She's a doctor. But, yeah, she's very pretty. And, yeah, it's always – I don't care how many times you do it. It's a little weird to pull down your britches, expose one half of the old gluteus back, or at least a quarter of it. And then they're like, here comes a stick. I'm like, I don't care. Just do it quickly. Get it over with. Grumpy said, Matt, on a serious note, did you happen to catch Kevin Costner's presentation on the story of the birth of Jesus? Very moving and telling. Also, his testimony as a Christian, really something from a huge star. I didn't see that. I didn't know anything about it. No, that's the first I've heard of it. If you got a link, send it to me. If not, it's fine. I'll look it up. But thanks for letting me know. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. So I'm not singing tenor today, Jason. I'm more of a baritone. Still not a bass, but I'm more of a baritone. He said, hey, man, is there any truth to the stuff online that Shapen quit when he was benched for the Egg Bowl? Or did he just go home to do something else since everyone thought the season was over and he's out of eligibility? Look, I don't know. This is what I do know, Jason. I think when he got the news that he wasn't going to play in the Egg Bowl or start, that it was going to be Camario starting and likely going the whole game, I think he was really bothered by it. I don't, as far as how he handled it openly, I don't really know, but I think from all I could tell, it was really hard on him. But then the day of the game, like he was all team, big we, little me, goes through warm-ups, everything's the same. He's on the sideline, seemed to be, doing his job as a member of the team. Since then, I don't have any idea, like if he's there or not. And then Jason went on to say, y'all get Beaver out of Jackson Metro. What did he say? Metro People Zoo and into Tupelo. He won't go back. Oh, man, Beav would love it. Tupelo, though, it's a great place. It is, but certainly the surrounding areas. Like you get outside of Tupelo about 15 miles, and we're talking like this perfect. Because then you can go into Tupelo for anything you want, but you don't have to stay. John in Rolling Fork in the Mississippi Delta. Nothing like the Delta. Love it. He said, happy birthday, Matt. Enjoy the show. He says, enjoy your show every day in Hale State. Thank you, John. Denzel with a note that is worth reading. Pop-Tarts debuted on September the 14th, 1964. That year, Georgia Tech started 7-0, beat Clemson in the third game, then won at Duke in Game 7, jumped up to number 7 nationally. This year, Georgia Tech started 7-0, beat Clemson at home in Game 3, won at Duke in a Game 7, and moved to number 7 nationally. Is playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We have recreated exactly what happened to Georgia Tech at exactly the same time throughout the season as it did when Pop-Tarts debuted in 1964. What a weird piece of trivia, but I like it. I like that stuff. Jake from Yazoo, he texts on the Country Pleasing text line. He says, homecoming queen should tell North Mississippi where she went shopping because they may be sold out. Call your mom, Matt. Have a good one, gents. Thanks, Jake. Hey, my mom gave me this knife, too. This is really neat. With this knife with this wood grain side, it's got my name on it. See that pocket knife? It says Wyatt, and then it's got a fish on there. Somebody's engraved in that wood. I've always been fascinated with knives. I got a whole collection of them. I'm going to add that one. Look at it. Nice little birthday present. That's going in the pocket. All right, look. Just getting started. Thanks for the birthday wishes. We'll get into whatever you want to get into when we come back. Plus headlines in the sports world, some things we need to know, or you need to know. Coming up. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. That's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee?
I know you do.
Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Gene on Facebook. Thank you very much. He's in there on the live stream. He gave me a happy birthday on Facebook. The red balloon here in the bureau that Annabeth and Mary Liddy gave me. Caleb said, "Did you lose that red balloon in kindergarten to a clown in a storm drain?" No, because those kinds of things don't happen, Caleb. They're fake, right? Run tell everybody that I said it, and then, then let the screaming and yelling begin. But ghosts do not exist. Now, demons do. Okay, but that's really a different thing. But ghosts don't exist. I'm not afraid of ghosts. They don't exist. There's no such thing. Okay, but Caleb. No, the story was, and this is a true story. Okay, and I don't know what sparked it, but I told Annabeth and Mary Lydia about this sometime relatively recently, like in the last year or two, and they remembered it. But yeah, I was in kindergarten. We lived in Selma, Alabama. My dad was a pastor at a church there called, I think the name of the church was Fairview Church, Fairview Baptist Church in Selma. And I was going to kindergarten at Meadowview. I think the name of the school is Meadowview. Anyway, I was in Miss Wilson's kindergarten class. And like on a Saturday, Mom and Dad I'm a little foggy on this detail, but I think it was like a fair, like you have the fair that comes to town. I think it was something like that type of deal. And we go on like a Saturday, and I got a balloon. I picked out I think it was a red balloon. It had helium in it. I thought it was the coolest thing. And, Sunday I played with it in the house. And then Monday morning, we're about to go to school. And it's about, 15 minutes or so before we're going to get in the car and drive. I know I had a little time, like book bags ready and all. So I couldn't stand it. I took the balloon outside. I had to take it outside. It's like early on I was making bad decisions. And the balloon, inevitably, okay, this is Monday morning before school. We're getting in the car in like 15 minutes. And the balloon gets away from me. And, the shock of realizing I can't reach it. Oh my gosh, I can't reach it. It's there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. It's gone. It's like the shock. And I stood there and just watched it float farther and farther and farther and it was not out of sight. At what point Mama said, "All right, get in the car. I'm sorry. This balloon's gone. Forget it. Let's go." And I get in the car, and as we're driving off, I'm looking out the window at that balloon, and on the way to school, I'm thinking, where's it going? Might it come back? No, it's probably never. Where's that thing going to go? And I had a seat, sure enough, close to a window in our classroom there at the school. And so sure enough, all day long, I was distracted, looking out that window, just hoping that balloon would float by so I could see it, thinking, I wonder if it's got to be out there somewhere. it's sad. I never saw it again, obviously. It probably wound up deflating and stuck in somebody's, oak tree in their yard over in Maplesville for all I knew. So anyway, I told them that story and they thought it was really sad. And so they got me a replacement here today on my 49th birthday. And that's the kind of soft-hearted, sweet girls I have in my life. Old Tackle comments on YouTube and says, let's keep it on sports today. What cracker is best to eat while watching football? Attaboy. Attaboy. That's what I'm talking about. He's a smart one. Hail State fan said, with it getting dark earlier and the mall volume at its peak this time of year, reflective numbers on your mailboxes and porch lights left on are the best Christmas present you could give United States Postal Service workers. Okay. So, first of all, yes, this time of year, I'm talking about right up there with first responders. I'm only partly kidding, but, the people that are delivering these packages, Postal Service, the United States Postal Service, the mail, FedEx, UPS, and all the other ones, the residual of that. I guess, you got some Amazon stuff out there too, but look, hats off to y'all. I know. Okay. And so to everyone listening, it's a good PSA. Hail State fan who's in that business knows and says this time of year, it's getting dark early. You got a lot of traffic, all this. Reflective numbers on your mailboxes and then porch lights left on are the best Christmas present you can give postal workers. So we're going to pass that along. Thanks, Jay. He's on Facebook. Happy birthday. He said hey to HQ also. Working on it, Lewis. Trying to get the feeling better. We're going to get through it. It ain't that bad. I've been a lot worse before. I'm really happy with where I am right now this morning compared to where I was last night. Last night I was thinking, there's no way. Thanks, Roshana. She's on Facebook. He said, don't tear up on us. Yeah, I know. I mean, Annabeth was trying to see if she could get me to cry on the radio. You think I'm ugly normally. You see me emotional. It's like, look away. Keith commented on Facebook, said, hi from Hernando. This year, the SEC had only 7 teams with winning records. The SEC, the conference, had Tennessee, Missouri, ending the year 4-4 in the conference. Next year, each team's going to play 9 SEC games. Won't the SEC teams be more beat up next year after playing one more conference team? Yeah, they will be, Keith. Everybody will be, for sure. And even the good teams will be. And, the good coaches know that, or the coaches at the good teams know that. You look at Kirby Smart in Georgia. He talked about it after the SEC title game. He's like, look, man, I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, look, I'm a little worried about this 9-game deal, okay? He said, because, those two teams, talking about his team in Alabama coming out of the SEC title game, he said, they are beat up. That's 2 beat-up football teams. So, yes, Keith, it will. I just don't know. I don't know if we're supposed to worry about that. Look, all the players are getting paid. And many, not all, but many of them are right now, as we speak, on December 10th, in negotiations with their own school, the own bagmen and money people at their own school, trying to get more out of them. Some of them using the threat of transferring to do that, using that leverage. Okay? And so from a player standpoint, we can't have one way of doing business and on the other side feel sorry for them for having to play another ball game against a better team or a conference game. You know what I mean? Like another conference game. So that's one thing about it. The other thing is, you just saw a note, and this is no coincidence whatsoever. Like, it's totally intentional that they are raising the roster limit, or scholarship limit from 85 up to 105. What's for that reason? You got to have deeper teams. You're going to play more games. And so, they're giving them all the tools they need. And then every team that even wants to have a shot at being any good and chasing, something like a playoff spot, you're going to have to come up with like a minimum of right now, and it's going up every year, a minimum right now of about $35 million to go out and pay players to come play for you and others to stay. That's minimum. So that's just kind of where it is. So, yeah, it's going to beat them up and make it harder on them, but I don't feel sorry for anybody. I'm out here watching it, and I don't want to talk about, Alabama and Mercer the week before the Iron Bowl. Georgia and whoever the heck it was they played, the week before Georgia Tech. Who was it? I don't know. The Chattanoogas of the world. I don't want to talk about that. I don't even want to look at it. And so expecting fans to appreciate the fact that's part of your home slate, no, it doesn't work that way anymore. Talking about being sick. Nick texted the show. He said, I thought I was coming down with the flu a few weeks ago and wound up being West Nile. He said, and I prefer the flu. I've heard it's awful.
Oh, wait. No, Nicholas. Now, Nick is the man who always tells us how bring on the heat.
That's a good point.
I hate the cold, and he specifically says I'd rather have mosquitoes than the cold. But December 3rd, I see a text here that says bring back the skeeters. This is the man with West Nile. Nick, careful what you wish for.
Gosh, Beaver. He does wish for the soupy, steamy, brutally hot and humid summers, and he's already told us that. He even said, and I quote, Beaver, you tell me if I'm wrong, but hasn't he said multiple times, quote unquote, bring back the skeeters?
Yes, he has. December 3rd, he said it. I looked back.
You know what we have to say to Nick right now? Now, we're only joking, Nick, because I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and I just hope that you're okay. But regarding you and hot weather and the skeeters, and it turns out you get West Nile. What is it Michael Scott said? My, how the turntables. All right. And more of your texts, your comments, and headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group coming up. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away.
Mississippi Way with you. So get in on the conversation and tell him what you think. Right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team. My mother-in-law, Annabeth's mama, is the greatest fan of this show. She's listening right now. And she wished me a happy birthday. And I'll give you, just for you, I really wouldn't even do it for anybody else, but just for her, for Debbie, a little Forward Rebels. There you go, just for you. Everybody, look, don't worry that we stopped it early. Everybody's going to get to hear plenty of it when they play Tulane. What was that? They beat them by 30-something the first time. They're going to beat them by about that much this time. So there'll be plenty of times to fire up the fight song. Right now, we're going to fire up headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. My man Went, the mortgage man. Went! Hey, if we can get Beaver to move to Tupelo, Went and the Mortgage Man Group can help Beaver out with a mortgage. Yeah. So let's remember that, mortgagemanms.com. Headline number 1, Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt has informed Coach Kenny Dillingham that he intends to enter the transfer portal. That, according to sources today. What is today? Today's Wednesday, so this was as of yesterday, actually. So he was a starter for Arizona State the last 2 years. Of course, State fans familiar with him, lost to him out there in Scattaboo and then beat him in that bunch this year. He was there for 2 years. He transferred to Arizona State from Michigan State. Of course, a couple of years ago, led Arizona State at the Big 12 title game in the college football playoff berth. He was really good, almost 3,000 yards and 24 touchdowns. This year took a little bit of a step back. He only played in 7 games, and got hurt. And so this year, 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns. Didn't have the same kind of year, so he's transferring. Interesting to me, too, though, like before the year, they were saying, everybody was confirming that Arizona State was paying him like $3 million this year. And, you get hurt, can't play as much, take the money and run. And that's where we are. Over at the Big 12. By the way, did I say the Notre Dame athletic director's name right? Is it Bivacqua or is it another way to say that? If anybody knows, help me. But the Big 12's Brett Yormark has called him out, the Notre Dame AD, Pete, whatever his name is. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark took issue last night with Notre Dame AD and his criticism of the ACC, and he called the behavior egregious. So the Big 12 Commissioner Yormark, he was speaking at a forum, Sports Business Journal's Intercollegiate Athletics Forum. Side note, save this for another day, but we need to have a conversation about all of the forums and the symposiums and the conferences that everybody's having in college athletics without actually getting anything done. It's like half of the job of these commissioners and even ADs to a degree is to get up and talk somewhere. Who is sick of that? Stop all the talking and actually get things done. Just shut up and get things done. I'm done with all the talking. I know this is a talk show, okay, but it's different, okay? I don't represent a team or a conference or an athletics department or a school or anything like they do. But the whole country is obsessed with people getting up with a microphone and giving a speech, and then obsessed with breaking down a speech. Stop all the talking and just do stuff. Anyway, Yormark said that the AD from Notre Dame, quote, is totally out of bounds in his approach, and if he was in the room, I'd tell him the same thing. In other words, run tell. And now finally this is in the headlines, and I didn't know this earlier, but I just saw it. It is speaking of Notre Dame, it is maybe the pettiness, the pettiest of the petty. And this has everything to do with Notre Dame and its people out here. Headline number 3, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, which is powered by Illuminate Bank. So here's the scenario. Former sports writer, maybe he still is current, I don't know, but he's just a long time, and now he's writing books. Former, well-known sports writer Ivan Maisel, okay, has written a book about a former coach at Notre Dame, Frank Leahy. The title of the book is American Coach, The Triumph and Tragedy of Notre Dame Legend Frank Leahy, written by Ivan Maisel. Well, Ivan Maisel had a scheduled, for a long time, appearance at a popular bookstore, okay, at Notre Dame. This being reported today. Haim's new Notre Dame bookstore has canceled a scheduled Friday signing of Ivan Maisel's book on Frank Leahy. Ivan is a member of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. Quote from Ivan Maisel, I'm very disappointed because I look forward to hearing people out and about and talking about my book. Notre Dame, with the pettiest thing that they could do to a guy that largely is considered one of the best in the business. He's never been a controversial guy. He is a sports writer. But because Ivan Maisel is on the College Football Playoff Committee, they have canceled this Friday's event with him there signing his books about a former Notre Dame coach at the Notre Dame bookstore in retaliation for Notre Dame being left out of the college football playoff. What do you think about that? And those are your headlines Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Here in Mississippi, find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Old Whitaker Hunt Club texted in and said, I think my ears gained weight listing all those birthday treats. Now, this is from Mark. Mark, yeah. In fact, you know what I'm going to do in 5 minutes when we have a commercial break before hour 2 starts? Yeah, I'm going to go find one of those giant Reese's peanut butter cups and Aunt Beth bought me, and I'm going to have one. She said, calories don't count on your birthday. I'm just taking it to heart. Literally and figuratively. Unnamed texter says, and let me say, those mailbox numbers and porch lights are extremely important for full-time door dashers too. And hey, you know what? I learned that. I did learn that because we, the Wyatts of Tupelo, are late adopters into the DoorDash thing. You know, of all the lazy things, it feels lazy, but you know, whatever. But our neighbors got into it early, of always like having everything delivered all the time, groceries and meals and fast food or whatever. And so when Mary Liddy was small, okay, and she's not a young'un anymore, you know, she's 14, but when she was about 4, so we had a project just for fun where she and we went out and painted the numbers on the mailbox at our house. Well, that's 10 years ago, and it sort of wore off. And so we had a period of time here recently where they were always ringing our doorbell, leaving food and groceries we didn't buy. And they meant to go next door because they couldn't read the mailbox. And so we finally got the clue and said it's our fault. And so we fixed and put the legible numbers on the mailbox and leaving the lights on and all that. And so we've managed not to make that mistake. Hey, Beav, I see that we have the call, but do we have time to go to it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so over to the junction phone. It is a call from Iron Man 1961. 1961, you have the floor.
Hello, Matt White. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Hey, look, double-sided take on Notre Dame and Lane Kiffin. Last year, Ole Miss had 10 NFL players sign off that team. 8 were drafted, 2 free agents, 2 in the first round. Somehow Lane Kiffin found a way to go 9-3. Be careful what you wish for, LSU. But Ole Miss was on the outside looking in, along with Alabama, just like Notre Dame is this year. Had a plausible argument that we should be in, but it wasn't a real strong one because we'd lost 3 dead gum games.
Yeah.
Guess what, Notre Dame?
Yep.
We went and played in the bowl game, annihilated Duke, had a great time, got the money, got the national exposure, got the extra practices, and here we are in a rebuilding year going into the college football playoff. You just need to take your medicine. Yeah. Sometimes life just doesn't go your way, man, and you just do the best you can with the cards you're dealt. And instead, Notre Dame looks like they're going to try to burn everything down. That's pretty risky.
It's
like
risky.
Going to LSU, burning things down.
There's
a risk factor. Anytime you burn bridges, there is a risk factor to it.
Yep.
And I don't think it's going to work out well for either one of them, to be quite honest with you. Love to hear your opinion on that approach to this topic.
Yeah. Good stuff. Hey, thanks for the call, 1961. I'm going to make a note because I do want to talk about that. Because the Notre Dame deal, like when you start believing that you're privileged, it leads to underachieving just about every time. Back after this.
This Christmas, C Spire will help bring the ultimate holiday bundle down the chimney.
Let's see. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
This message comes from Viking.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion, like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now.
At the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone 105.9.com.
Back with you. Hour number 2, staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Yeah, I'm under the weather, and Gene said your check engine light's going to be starting soon. Yeah, I know. Like, I think my check engine light's on right now, and I went in to get it checked, and they gave me a shot this morning, and so I'm making it through. Really, I couldn't get comfortable with the idea of just, because you have a bad cold, not getting on the radio and hanging out with y'all today. I really was looking forward to it. So we're making it happen. Thanks for being here. You can be a part of the conversation. It's like grabbing a chair and pulling up to the table with us. Jump right in. Now you can do that by commenting on the live stream if you're on YouTube or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter. You can text the show on the Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. The number to text, 885-3776. 885-3776. Or call me like the homecoming queen did and like Iron Man 1961 did. On the Junction phone, Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. So, you pull up to the pump there, put some fuel in your tank, go inside and put some fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. Number to call is 897-1059. That's a 601 number. 897-1059. Hey, and I do need to cover what Iron Dog 1961 said. Yeah, it's a really good point. He's had some good calls on this show lately. He's looking at the situation Ole Miss and Lane are in this year versus Notre Dame this year. Maybe they just need to take their medicine, do the right thing, go play the bowl game. That has worked. Taking that approach has worked out for Ole Miss. But for me, I don't like any of this stuff I see from Notre Dame. One, it's like, you remember the private school, high school football game that we had the fight where the kid goes out of bounds and a player who's not dressed out, he's in street clothes, or he looked like a coach, but he wasn't. He was a player. He elbows him, knocks him down, and then it starts a fight. The kid throws the football at him, hits the wrong guy. Two coaches then jump in. And remember what we said? It's like, this idea you're supposed to do the next right thing. And then that was a situation where each step of the way they did the next wrong thing. The kid who elbowed him, knocked him down, the opposing player, that's the wrong thing. Opposing player gets up to throw the football at the back of his head, misses, hits the wrong guy. That's the next wrong thing. They see that, two coaches jump in and start fighting a player. That's the next wrong. It's wrong thing after wrong thing after wrong thing. That's why you have those situations. Well, I have news for you. Notre Dame has done the wrong thing after the wrong thing after the wrong thing. So you get left out. And you have how many losses? 3? 2? Had 2 losses. Okay. Against, and Sven is right about this when he brought it up, against a very, very weak schedule. Okay. If you're looking at it from, a position of any practicality whatsoever, and I know you're supposed to go to bat for yourself, no matter who you are, and generally people do, but at some point, some pragmatism has got to kick in there. All right, some levity. And you go, yeah, okay. Well, we're just going to have to realize that our schedule was not that tough compared to some of these other teams, and it wasn't. You basically played 2 good teams all year. You lost to both of them. And then, so you kind of taking this real hard stance on it, to begin with. That's the wrong thing. Okay? Then to say, the Notre Dame AD to say, it's the ACC's fault. It's the conference's fault. Blame it on somebody else. That's the next wrong thing. To say, well, there's damage. Well, it's one thing to say they kind of damaged our relationship. But to come out here and say it's permanently damaged, okay, that's the next wrong thing. Then for him to say, we went, as dominant of a 10-game run as anybody in the history of college football. Holiday Hooby Whitey. Say that again. You're talking about beating, hold on, stay with me, Purdue. Hold on. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's put a little effect in here. Here's their 10-game dominant stretch. That's as dominant as anybody in the history of college football, according to him. You ready? Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford. You got to be kidding me. Do you know, and I mean, they played Miami and Texas A&M weeks 1 and 2 of the year. That 10-game stretch. Do you know how many SEC teams would win all those games? Yeah. A whole bunch of them. So, that was the wrong thing. And then this deal with this book, taking this kind of approach here, 𝐌𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐢, a very non-emotional, non-controversial member of the college football sports media over the years. He's well liked. He's written books before. He's got a book out about one of your former coaches. Calls him, a legend who had triumph and tragedy. It's a whole book. It's coming out. He's got a long-time book signing schedule for this Friday at the Notre Dame bookstore on campus, the Hames bookstore. But because 𝐌𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 is also on the College Football Playoff Committee, they've canceled his book signing. I mean, just think about that. That's the next wrong thing. They just keep doing wrong thing after wrong thing after wrong thing. And so I'm going to go back to something I said as we were running out of time in hour one. It's obvious that Notre Dame really believes that they are and should be in a position of privilege. Excuse me one second. That they are or should be in a position of privilege. They really believe it. And now they're behaving as if that they're kind of like a little spoiled brat laying down on the floor, kicking their legs and throwing a fit when others don't also believe they're in the same position of privilege that they believe they're in. That's just kind of how it looks. And when you get into that spot, see, I think it's actually a lesson for all of us. I know it's a lesson for me. Personally, when I see something like that, I want to look at it. I want it to be seared into my brain and my memory, what I'm seeing like these people at Notre Dame. And so that the lesson that I can learn, and hopefully that you can learn from it too, is like I said, when you get to a point where you start to believe your own hype and you start, you maybe you get some attention or you get a pat on the back and you really start to believe you deserve it. And you really start to develop this mindset that, you know what, I am in a position of privilege and I deserve to be here. And you really start believing that. And then you also expect everybody else to treat you that way. Well, guess what? You've already begun to underachieve before you even realize it. And that's what's going on at Notre Dame. I think that's what's been going on at Notre Dame for years. That's what's going on now. And the sad thing is, it's really true. What I'm saying is true. It's just true. And anybody outside of their little bubble can look at it and go, yep, that's true. they, even those that aren't mad at them, we don't care. We're not trying to hurt their feelings. We're just saying you'd be a lot better off if you'd totally eliminate that mindset with your programs and the people that work for you and your athletes and your students and everybody. Just if you could eliminate that mindset of we're privileged and doggone, you better recognize it. If you could get rid of that, you'd start to maybe overachieve. You'd at least have a chance not to underachieve like you've been doing for I don't know how many decades. But, oh, it's sad. They're blinded by their own delusion. And I hate to, it sounds like I'm somebody trying to take shots at Notre Dame. I'm just describing what it is, And again, people who are in that mindset, if you say those kinds of things to them, oh, they're offended. Oh, hate you. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Well, wouldn't you rather be troubled by the truth than comforted by a lie? Hey, we've got another story, and you know what? It will be our headlines for hour number 2.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related, buying, refinancing, whatever. Here in the metro, places like Tupelo and Starkville and Oxford and all the way up to Memphis and anywhere. That's where you want to go. Go online, mortgagemanms.com. You'll be glad. It's the kind of people you want to talk to. So here it is. We had someone ask about this in hour 1. I didn't know, since the game, I didn't know, but it's confirmed here by Jeff Lebby at State. Media member posting, apparently they had a media or interview opportunity with him. This is posted a couple of hours ago. Jeff Lebby says Blake Shapen isn't with the team and won't play in the bowl game. He's back home training. Kamario Taylor will take first-team reps in practice with Luke Kromenhoek, the number 2 quarterback. Lebby on Kamario Taylor said he's not back to 100%, but he will be shortly. All right, what do you think? Is that fine, or do we have a quitter on our hands? Which one is it? So it looks like Blake Shapen has hung it up, walked away from State after Kamario Taylor started and played the whole Egg Bowl. Like I said, I had heard that, and it was pretty tough on him. The decision to do that was pretty tough on Blake. Leading, and then I noticed the Egg Bowl game. He was dressed out, went through warm-ups, seemed to be his normal self down there and on the sideline, except for the fact that he wasn't playing. But since then, hung it up. Now, without knowing all the details, let me just say, there's one possibility that you do have to consider that is kind of giving Blake the benefit of the doubt. All right. And that is, after the Egg Bowl probably showed him that, they're ready to roll with Kamario and kind of get him ready for next year for the most part. And on top of you saw the way he ran the ball and the kind of dual threat that he is, and felt like that probably gave them a better chance to maybe pull off the upset of a good Ole Miss team than sitting in the pocket, kind of would have possibly. But anyway, what I'm getting at is it's possible that he and everybody else, and he being a senior, it being a little different for him too. He and everybody else thinking, okay, that's it. You only have 5 wins. There's no bowl game, so you got to move on to the next thing pretty quickly. Underclassmen are not worried about maybe getting ready for senior day and trying to get an agent who could possibly garner you some sort of maybe a combine opportunity, get you there and getting ready for all that. Underclassmen are, but a going out senior does think about those things, and maybe he's trying to get a head start on it. So it's possible, I guess what I'm saying is it's possible that he could have said, we got 5 wins, that's over, I'm going to the house. Where he is academically, I'm sure he's got all that wrapped up already long ago. And so you go home, and then you don't want to turn around and come back and all that kind of thing. But what my initial reaction is this. I don't care what the scenario is. The team that you're on has another game. They could potentially need you in that game. It's the culmination of the year. It's your last opportunity, to play in a game for a college team. And I know, maybe you have to go in there as a backup and know that just you're ready in case they need you, and maybe they don't need you, but I've been there. I know what that feels like. And my thing, my first thought is you don't just not go. You don't just not come back to practice. You don't quit. Go home and begin something else and let the team move on without you. Again, I don't know all the details, but without knowing all the details, I would have preferred to see Blake Shapen go, okay, if you can play Camario in the bowl game, that's fine. I'll be there. I'll get ready to play as if I'm the starter. So that way, if you do need me, I'll go in and do everything I can to help us win the game. And if not, I'll be there supporting any kind of way. And I'll wrap it up on January 3rd, the day after the game. But to go home and not come back and just be like, I'm not with you anymore. I'm out. You benched me for the Egg Bowl, so I'm out. I don't like that. I do not like it. I'm not saying I've always done everything perfect. Well, in fact, I am saying I haven't always done everything perfectly, but I believe you ought not to quit on them. But I will admit I don't know all the details. I don't know. Hey, and since we're in headlines, we also had a couple of additions on the coaching staff that they confirmed. You have, a confirmation that Matt Brock is going to come back and coach on the defensive side of the ball under Zach Arnett, who they were there together. And then you had somebody named Bush Hamden, who's associate head coach for offense at Mississippi State. The Post said a veteran offensive coach with 17 years of experience in college football and the NFL. Coach Hamden brings a reputation for innovation, development, and high-level production. He was the offensive coordinator at Kentucky, looks like. So he was at Kentucky, and so now he's going to land on the staff at State under Jeff Levy. And those are your state-related headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Regarding the hot weather and the mosquitoes, Nick said it's worth the risk, even after he experienced a little West Nile. I'm just glad you're okay. John in Rolling Fork had two questions. One, he wanted to know how old Nick is. And then two, does he work outside for a living? That's what he wants to know. So, Nick, you're welcome to answer those. You don't have to, though. You're not obligated. Airborne Dog texted the show, and he said, happy birthday, favoriteest QB sports radio host. More sports, no food, or I'm out. That's what he said. Okay, now, surely you jest. Surely you're joking there. Joe Mailman texted and said, thanks, Matt, for recognizing our hard work. Happy birthday. Man, I'm telling you, it ain't lost on me when, like UPS and say it'll be there a little before 9 p.m. and at 8:45 he makes the last stop of the day, walking up somebody's driveway, leaving stuff on the porch. I mean, people are working now, covering some ground. Patches texts the show and says, we have gotten to a point in society where it's commonplace of people in power or historically respected positions, such as politicians or other, i.e. ADs, where publicly they act like idiots with foul mouths. Well, let me just go ahead and give you a round of applause where you deserve it there, Patches. Decades and decades and decades ago, the brilliant Charles Schultz, the creator of the Peanuts comic strip, regarding vulgarity, said that he believed that once you take the lid off of that and let some of it out, you'll never get the lid back on. and it's not good for anybody. You said it. Okay, let's underline that, put it in bold. Act like idiots with foul mouths. And you know, unfortunately, so much of it, Patches, you know, I've used bad language before, and you probably have too. A lot of times it's one thing when you lose your cool out of anger. You know what I mean? And just blah, it just comes out. It's another thing to sort of premeditate the inorganic. Now, I'm not condoning it, but the inorganic, contrived, intentional throwing around of curse words just to fit in with your least common denominator internet crowd who's sitting in the back of the class snickering instead of paying attention and trying to do something with their lives. It's appealing to those. And so that's it. I mean, so much of what you see, and a lot of coaches, sports media people, Saban, McAfee, that's what a lot of that is. It is a contrived, intentional approach to try and appeal to the least common denominator of your audience. And you can do that just by throwing out a cuss word every now and then. Hey, look at me, how brave and cool I am. Beep. I mean, it's pitiful, really. It's childish and pitiful. And you said, as a society, where are we? Aren't we supposed to set examples for young people in even other countries? It's really embarrassing, isn't it? He says, no wonder we're in the shape we're in. Yeah, it's just I think it's just an indication. It's not a cause of the shape we're in, but I think it's an indication of the shape that we're in. All right, rolling along with you in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought
All right. Let's get into some text messages and comments, shall we? And see what you think. Food is on the table. Like, metaphorically, we can talk about food if you want to. Sure. Yeah, sure we can. In fact, Kenny, don't call me Ken. He texted the show and he said all this sports talk is interfering with the leisure talk. Yeah, we can do sport. Somebody said that yesterday. It's a sports and leisure show. J-Rock, with a picture to prove it, is enjoying a Ward's hamburger with a large fry. Caption, calories don't count on Matt's birthday. Thanks, HQ. That's what she said. Said it's your birthday, calories don't count. Just eat up. I've already had way over the calorie threshold. Let me ask y'all something. Is it common to get this crud, if you will? It's not the flu, it's not COVID, but it's like a lot of stuff that's like it. You know, it's one of these deals where you go. I went into the urgent this morning, and they gave me a shot, steroid shot. I got this other medicine I got to take to get me over it. But thankfully, all those tests came back negative, right? And so it's not like, you know, stomach bug type stuff. We're talking sinus stuff and all that. Is it common for that to make you hungry? And I'm asking for me, because this stuff really started setting in with me last night, and I got really hungry. And then I've been eating a lot today, too, like more than normal. Grumpy texted the show and says, Matt, when Grumpy was 22 or 23, he did not always make the best decisions. Look, I'm with you, Grumpy. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm there, too, but, you know, whether being young is my excuse or not, there's right and there's wrong. And I've done some wrong, you know. I get credit for that. I've done some right, and sometimes I don't get credit for that. Somebody else kind of talked me into it, to doing right. So I don't know. It's any number of scenarios under the sun. It sounds like you could be the same way. But that's what I'm saying. If you're Blake Shapen, I mean, I know you get a sour taste in your mouth because they benched you at the end of the year and went with Kamario Taylor in the egg bowl. But my gut just tells me that, especially when you've been making money to play, that you go to practice and you take the role they give you, you execute that role to the best of your ability, trusting that the coaches have decided that's part of what will help you win. You try to do that, and then when it's all over, when the bowl game's over, then go about doing, training or whatever. But don't leave with a game to go. But I'm really old-fashioned, and there's some people out there point and call me names and snicker and laugh and say I'm old-fashioned and I don't understand the times. And people will say, well, Matt, it's not a we game anymore. It's not a we business. Look at coaches, look at other stuff. Well, I don't care. I don't care. There's right and there's wrong. Do right. Doing something wrong, you're never going to be able to come back down the road and go, oh, well, it was wrong, but it's fine because society has changed. Guess what? Nope, it's wrong. Wrong is wrong. Do right. Especially when you know what's right, do it. Airborne Dog text the show, said, hey, Matt, did you know you can type thank my driver tip 5 in the search bar on Amazon and search it. It'll give your latest delivery driver $5 for Christmas. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Is that a real thing? I don't want to give out, clickbaity information, but that's real. If there's any kind of anything out there I could read that's real on that, let me know. JB95 texted and said, just joining in, Matt, I heard you saying that Blake's not with the team or didn't return for the ball game. What's the Cliff Notes? Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave it. That's just it. He was there for the Egg Bowl on the sideline. Levy confirmed today that he's not with the team. He's working out, back home working out, he said. And so that's it. Jason in Flagstaff. He said, keep Nick, who likes hot weather and mosquitoes, away from bats in Chinese labs that study them, please. Yeah, no doubt. And he also said, yeah, steroid shot will make you hungry, especially. Okay, so I got the shot at 7:30 a.m. I was the first one in this morning. And I've had some more appetite since then. It's not that I don't ever have a small appetite. It's just this is bigger than normal. Let's see. Mac in Vicksburg. He said, heard a sermon preaching on ego years ago. He talked about cursing. He said, if you think you're being a good Christian, hit your finger with a hammer. If praise Jesus comes out, you're doing okay. Anything else, you need work. That's about right, ain't it? That's about right. But let me tell you this, Mac. The correlation there would be, the metaphor would be, what is going on today in the sports world with coaches and media is the equivalent of a person setting up their iPhone, filming themselves, okay, getting a hammer, kind of hitting their thumb or even pretending to hit their thumb and then blurting out a bunch of cuss words and posting it just to see if you can get 1,000 likes or 100 shares. You see what I mean? That, what I just described, is the equivalent of what a lot of sports media and a lot of sports personalities and stuff are doing on their platforms. And again, it sounds really pious and high and mighty. Okay, somebody could accuse. I don't even really mean it that way. It's just a simple. I'm just stating a simple fact. That's what it is. It's kind of contrived. It's done to appeal to sort of the most drunk of your audience, really, and it is an abandonment of the idea that, hey, whatever platform I'm standing on, however big, however small, God has put me here. My life is His. My responsibility is to bring honor and glory to Him, not to me. And to have a positive impact, and He can have a positive impact through me on those who do see, whether it's one person or 101 people or 1,000,001. Okay, and knowing too that we have no greater responsibility while we're on this earth. It is a responsibility, and we have no more important responsibility while we are on this earth than protecting the innocence of children. And I don't respect the big platforms or any platform who, for their own benefit, for their own clicks and their own attention to draw attention, contrive the profanity and the vulgarity and don't give two flips what child out here might be influenced by it. They don't care. So I don't respect it. I don't like it. And I never will. And it makes me what names people want to call me, fine, call them. I don't care. And no, Mac, any of us we hit our thumb with a hammer, most of the time, praise the Lord isn't coming out of our mouth. That ain't even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fake stuff. I'm not talking about, frankly, let's call it what it is, the genuine, organic sin nature. I got it. You know, somebody cut me off on the highway. There ain't no telling what I'm liable to say. And the windows are up. Think about how stupid that is. They can't even hear me. Okay, that's one thing. But the, hey, film this. Yeah, it's pitiful, childish. There are other things I would rather give my attention to. Possum Neck Joe. That's a really good question. Possum Neck, what's his name? I shouldn't say what's his name. JB. Y'all know JB. He used to be here on the show before Beaver came along. He asked me one time, he said, who decided what the curse words were? JB's a preacher, man. He's like, Possum Neck Joe said, who decided what curse words are? Like, crap is acceptable and, isn't it? Same meaning, different word. I know. And then he said, I think you're just trying to get a laugh here, but because it makes me think of Cousin Eddie. But he said, Hoover Dam or Hoover Darn? I mean, it's different. That's totally different. Yeah, Jake confirmed the steroid shot will make you hungry. I wondered about it. I was like, man, I'm hungry. I need to get another one of those apple fritters. I've already had 2. Bulldog Blitz says, how did Kelly Jones not make first team all SEC? He leads the nation in receptions against in terms of the fewest. Yeah. I mean, look, it's like the Heisman. It's kind of like the preseason Associated Press poll. Maybe it's just whatever. It used to have more impact than it does now. Kelly Jones is going to be a first-round pick for somebody. So that's about all I really need to know. That's the way I look at it. Hey, she heard it. My mother-in-law, Debbie, was listening on Facebook while I go to the show. When just for her, I played like 3 bars of Forward Rebels, just for her. And she heard it. She commented on Facebook and wished me a happy birthday. Noted. Thank you. Some more of your comments coming up. G-Bama Boy on the live stream, and Matthew and Sven and everybody. Your text coming up. And Winslow. We'll get to Winslow on the Junction phone line. All of that when we come back. Time to wrap it up then. In the Bureau. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia blend.
The Zone 1059.com.
All right, back with you. A little bit of time to wrap it up here. Sven said on YouTube, Hail State from family vacation. I just want to tune in for a second and wish Youngblood Matt a happy birthday. He said, if you reach 50, my friend, I'll call you an adult. I promise. I'm almost there. Almost there. Thanks, Sven. I hope y'all have a great vacation. All right, let's go over to the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. On line 1, Winslow. What's up, Winslow?
Matt, you know, you're talking about words. Have you ever noticed that like things will pop up and then all of a sudden they kind of make a certain word, a household word, you know, that people never used before but suddenly do? I mean, a few years ago it was insurrection.
Yeah.
And now, thanks to Lane Kiffin, it's narcissism. You know, how many people were acquainted with that, had that in their vocabulary before Lane Kiffin came along?
Yeah.
So that's the word of the month, I guess you might say.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hey, I was going to tell you, I mentioned this in the first hour too, Winslow, but today's my birthday, and this morning I got a phone call from Ron Polk, and it's amazing that Coach Polk, once he gets your birthday, you know, on his calendar, he calls you every year. I think I'm one of several thousand people who he keeps up with birthdays, and I always get a call from him. And he told me he was in Illinois. He's on his speaking tour, you know, this time of year. And he said to pray for him, you know, for safe travel coming home, because he's where he is in Illinois. Saturday, I think he said the wind chill is like -12. So he's ready to come home.
Maybe I need to drop that with him. I've got his cell phone number. He called and left me a message on a Sunday morning a few years ago. I sent him a copy of a story that I wrote, and he called me to thank me for it. But I was in the shower getting ready to go to church. But he made it very clear that he was fixing to be out of town for 2 weeks, and so, you know, don't bother calling back.
Yeah.
So I just haven't bothered to call back. Yeah. You know, when I was a student writer covering him, I was scared of him. I mean, the guy's just, you know, he kind of intimidates you, if you're young and inexperienced.
Yeah.
But what I called about, we were talking about Lane Kiffin. Has Lane Kiffin weighed in on the Notre Dame Bowl situation?
Not that I know of. Why do you ask?
Reason I ask is an LSU friend of mine reminded me that the LSU, a lot of the older LSU fans hate Notre Dame because Notre Dame ended like a 45-year period of refusing to go to bowl games, and then suddenly they decided that they were interested, and they took a bowl game away from LSU and left LSU at home. And so we got to talk about that, and I said, I just realized, why would they want to do that? They play in the Rose Bowl, and then they go 45 years and not play in another one. It's because back in those days, the national champion was named at the end of the regular season. So the way they looked at it, they didn't need to play in a bowl and risk getting beat because they could win the national championship based on the regular season. And then maybe as things began to change in the late 60s, they saw that we need to go to a bowl, especially if we're competing for a national championship. And so that seems to be that attitude has resurfaced. It's like national championship or bust. There was a baseball player back in the 70s, Gary Templeton, who was he was attributed with a quote that said, "If I ain't starting, I ain't departing." He was talking about the All-Star baseball game.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it sounds like, and I think that may be why a lot of people that don't otherwise have an opinion about Notre Dame, look at that and say, not real fond of that hubris that you guys are, parading around and with your talking points and all that. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting conversation, and I'd never thought of it that way. Although I remember growing up, Notre Dame did not go to bowls, and then suddenly they decided to go to a bowl. Yeah. And I'm sure LSU kind of felt like, the high schooler that had a prom date and then got, stood up, for the hot boy or girl. But,
yeah. Well, and, the whole thing of being named a national champion after the end of the regular season, that's, it's fine if that's the way they wanted to do it all those years. But I can't help but wonder, Winslow, like how different would the record books look if they all had to play it out on the field, then some, an NFL style playoff, a 1AA style of playoff, FCS Division II style of playoff, even a high school, bracket style of playoff. If you had to do that stuff over the years, as opposed to just play your games, and people look at you and go, well, okay, these three teams have great records and didn't lose. That one's better. They're the national champs. They just name them, It's interesting, but I think everybody accepted it more back in the old days because, frankly, it wasn't taken as seriously, overall back then.
Well, it depends on who you are. One of the national championships that Ole Miss claimed, I think Minnesota was declared the regular season national champions for that year. And I think I read somewhere one time of the three that Ole Miss claims that 11 other teams also claimed, at least one of those years. So, you had a bunch of people, looking around for any kind of ranking, that they could hook themselves onto.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Winslow, great to hear from you, as always.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks for calling. Thanks for being patient. On the Junction phone line, Junction delis all across the great state of Mississippi. Josh texted this with a screenshot of it, and he said that Blake Shapen posted this on social media last night, so this would have been Tuesday night, and it said, text, just found out I'm being sent home with a peace sign. And so that's interesting. Just found out I'm being sent home. And then today, that was last night, he posted that, and then today, Jeff Levy confirms in a press conference that he's not with the team, that he's at home, and that Kamario Taylor will be QB1 and Luke Kromenhoek will be QB2. So if it was a team decision to send him home, that's a whole different set of factors in terms of talking about it and judging it and all that sort of thing. Dog Tired in Florence said, my dad was a pastor. He said your content of your heart will surface when things are rough. He's right. He said, if he said that. So if cursing is in your heart, it'll come out. It's 100% true. That's it. Well, the Bible says the heart above all else is wicked. Jay Nelson texted the show. Matt, you may have seen it before, but Tim Hawkins does a bit on Christian cuss word that's pretty funny. If you have not seen it, it would be highly recommended to watch. So Tim Hawkins, is that a comedian? Stand up. Jason in Flagstaff says, they need to stop letting the media vote on these polls. All-star teams, halls of fame, awards, whatever. Most of them cover one team and don't see much otherwise, especially if it's not on primetime ESPN1/ABC. Yeah, it is a good point. Yeah, it's weird. And you take like an Ivan Maisel. He's been covering college football from a media standpoint for decades. Been around forever, knows everybody. They're comfortable with him. He's comfortable with them. So you have that. But, like in terms of judging a team, a football team, evaluating a football team, I don't know. I mean, like, does that qualify you? And it could be that when you're on a committee, you don't need a committee made up of all former coaches, former players, that kind of thing. You don't necessarily need that either. I mean, because sometimes a different point of view can, throw some things into the conversation that everybody needs to consider. I realize that, but it is a weird thing to think that, Jason, it's akin to, it's not to the same level, but it's kin to this stuff that we go into every summer going, the SEC Media Days deal, which, I mean, it's like media members, everything from some veteran at, CBS who's been there for 30 years, right down to some person that writes a website for South Carolina, and he started last year. He got himself a credential. Well, he's got a vote just like the 30-year veteran does. Frankly, they're all media. Okay, and then they vote on this stuff. And then the league will stick it out there in July and make this huge deal out of, well, the media voted, once again, Alabama to win the SEC championship. They got this many first-place votes. And LSU got this many. And, oh, by the way, the media has voted, Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt as the second-team SEC quarterback. And you're going, who voted? I mean, and what are they basing it on? Who? And then, like I tell you every summer, like, you expect me to waste my time with that? No, I'll let somebody else with it. So it's similar to that. And then if you're going to not play it out on the field, you're going to have a committee. Should you have media people and members on your committee? I think it's a fair question. All right, y'all, I enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging in there with me today. I'm Matt. For Beaver and all of us here on the show. For Homecoming Queen, who, when it comes to birthdays, it's celebrate big or go home. For all of us here. See you tomorrow. See you.